Welcome to the Simply His Coffee Shop. As kids, we are taught that there are consequences for our actions, that we need to be accountable for what we do, say, and how we act. As adults, we still need to be accountable for our actions and realize that our actions matter and that we need accountability. So today that's going to be a fun one to talk about because there's so many things that that pendulum swings so far. And as adults, we don't always remember, I guess, that we are being accountable for our actions. And sometimes when we do something, oh, guess what? Now this happens because we weren't being held accountable. So there's kind of this two-faced thing, I think, on the word accountability. We need to be held accountable for the choices that we've made. And then we also need to have people that can help hold us accountable.
Oh, for sure. In Romans 14:12, Paul is talking, and he says, then each one of us are going to give an account to God.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the movie going to play like when I get up there?
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. Right? Everybody close your eyes.
Yep.
So, that's one thing that I think about is personal conviction, and behaviors. And, for me, a big one that I do is with health, with food, with, things like that. Just because of now that I know certain things, I can't unknow them. I can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Yep.
So for me, it overwhelmingly becomes like a serious conviction because I know the ramifications of when you choose to not, what can happen in the body, what can happen in the brain, what can happen in the gut. I try to be helpful.
As everyone in the audience groans.
What's funny is Penny's not here, but one day I was shopping with my husband and she said, literally, she was stalking me. And like Toby had grabbed some peanut butter or something off the shelf and he's just flippantly going to, and I'm like, wait. So I pick it up, I go to the ingredients and I start, what? But then it's got this and why is it? And Penny is dying. She's like, come into the office, the next day and she's like, I have to confess something to you. I said, what? She's like, I kind of was stalking you in the grocery store, and I heard everything that you said to Toby about the ingredients. And she's like, this really is you. I'm like, well, yeah, it's me. It's just me.
It's not an act that you
No, this is like, no, slap that out of your hand. Get that away from you. Yeah, that's just me.
So with our actions, we've talked about exercising.
Yeah.
Exercising certain parts of our emotions and things like that. And our actions are the same way, because every action has a reaction.
Sure.
So we have to be super careful with our accountability and what that reaction is going to be. Because, when you're a parent, you're trying to already teach that to your children that there's consequences for your actions. Oh, don't touch that. It's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you mean this?
Yep.
Oh, I burned myself. I'm like, well,
thank you.
That's kind of what happens when you touch the pot I just told you not to touch.
Yep.
So, but as adults, I think sometimes we always kind of forget those lessons that we've learned as a kid that, oh, if I touch this, it's hot, it's going to burn me. But we do that with life. Oh, you know what? If I hang out with this group of friends, I might not be making the best choices and there's going to be a consequence for going down a path that may not be the one that I need to be going down. So we have to instill too in our children especially that there is consequences. And so many kids and adults, especially adults, I think it irritates me more when it's adults, when they know that there's a consequence, but they just don't want to be held accountable for that. They're like, well, I did it. Yeah, sure. And so
6
what?
o'clock news is full of that.
Well, exactly.
You
Yeah,
know?
but society tells them that they aren't going to be held accountable.
No, I know.
Society, right now, it's being perpetuated, especially in the younger generations, that you can do anything you want because my truth is my truth. I'm going to do like me. What's the one that they always say where it's like, you do you, I'll do me?
Yeah.
Or something
Yeah.
like that. Or this is my truth. The truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, everybody wants to sit around and pat each other on the back, but it doesn't change the fact that this is not a religious thing.
Yeah.
Common sense,
Right.
science has the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Everybody that generally has a brain that ticks will know if you do something,
Right.
something else is going to happen. But there is this general, I'm going to deny that because that's not my
Disconnect.
truth. I'm going to separate this from me. What I did was fine. I followed my feelings. I followed what I was supposed to follow. I did all these things because I was in love or whatever the thing. And now we are down the roadways and everything is really stinky in your life. And all of your friends are going to pat you on the back and say, whether they're Christian or not Christian. If they're Christian,
right.
they're probably going to say, God will use all things for good and everything happens for a reason. And if they're not Christian, they're going to have some other completely
Version of
Right.
that.
the same thing, only their own, secularistic version of the same thing. The bottom line is actions and accountability. If you do something dumb, that means now something is going to stink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we losing that most basic foundational truth? We can talk about the butterfly effect, cause and effect. We can talk all day about how everything happens for a reason. If you do something dumb, expect something to stink. It's just not a popular doctrine right now.
I feel sorry for God sometimes because when people do those things and then it doesn't turn out for the better because they asked for it and they got what they asked for, then they blame him. Why is God allowing this? Why did he, no, sorry. Think about what your choices were. What were the consequences? Use your common sense as a word that I like that you don't see a lot of and hear a lot of
Right.
nowadays.
For sure.
But
Well, and the entitlement
Oh,
attitude. This young everything offends me snowflakey thing that's
Yeah.
permeating our society right now. Generally, it's allowing not just postmodernism, as in my truth is my truth and it's not your truth and I'm going to follow my truth and all that nonsense, but on top of completely negating the idea of an absolute moral truth, it also instigates an emotional reaction that says, I have been victimized.
Yeah.
Society has wronged me. No, you did something dumb, honey. I don't know why we're losing this basic truth.
Right.
I'm not the popular one every day. I'm just glad I got an applause just then because there's at least 5 people online that just said, and I'm done with Donna Howell. It's good. It's good. While we're on the subject, a lot of Christians will pick up their Bible and they will see one don't do this, one rule after another prohibition, and they feel bombarded. So to balance out what I just said, yeah, there are moments where you did something done, you should expect something to hurt. But to balance that with the idea of, this pressure of being perfect and so on.
Yeah.
I think if you were going to look throughout the Bible and prioritize, we should try to meet them all the requirements. But if you had to prioritize one, it would be loving.
Yeah.
That's
And I
good.
think that if we are, as Christians, are going to say, Lord, where's the one area that I need to be the least failing in?
Yeah.
Matthew 12:36-27. But I tell you that everyone will have to give an account on the day of judgment for every empty word they have spoken. For by your words you will be acquitted. That means like in a court case,
Yeah.
being let go. And by your words you will be condemned. The tongue is a powerful weapon.
Yep.
I also didn't bring it with me, but it is in the book of James and it's talking about the taming of the tongue.
Yeah.
And how, there's so much power of life and death in this one
Yeah.
thing. So remember that when you go and you're speaking to a fellow person, every word that proceeds from your mouth needs to be loving.
Yeah.
And so when we think actions and accountability, often our mind goes to, okay, well, I don't get drunk. I don't hang out at bars. I don't take drugs. We go through
Yeah.
the I don'ts. What about the do's?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you
Absolutely.
love every chance you get?
Yeah.
Do you encourage other people who are not like you in any way, shape, or form? Watch this, Matthew 5:22. But I say unto you that whoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whoever shall say to his brother, Raca, shall be in danger of the council. But whoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. What do we think about this, okay? We're in church, somebody slips and says the F-bomb. Every head in the building turns. Everyone's offended immediately. But somebody slanders somebody else or shrouds a gossipy, juicy gossip story as a prayer request.
Come on.
Or we get together and we backstab that sister who needed love. Listen,
Oh,
her
man.
husband left her. Her
Right.
kids are hooked on everything. Her life is falling apart and we're sitting, I'm about to lose it, guys.
Lose it.
I'm about to go into that thing I do when I will start shaking because I get so mad.
Yeah.
But we will stab that woman in the back. We'll call her a Jezebel because she has a boyfriend we don't like. We will gossip about how her parenting skills are the reason why her kids are messed up.
Right.
Wow.
We'll slander her with tongues of black wickedness so hardcore that we make the guy who just called his brother a fool look like nothing.
Right.
Wow.
But the F-bomb offends us.
Right.
Listen to me. I'm not saying that God is not offended by a curse word. What I'm saying is that what he is most offended by
Right.
is the slander that proceeds out of the mouth of a Christian.
Absolutely.
Don't call yourself a Christian. Little Christ, little anointed one is what that word means
Yeah.
in Greek.
Yep.
Don't even call yourself that
Yeah.
unless you are willing to back it up by action
Absolutely.
and accountable
Absolutely.
to that action.
That's the one right there.
That's good.
So we're going to talk about actions and accountability. I'm sorry, but that is where my heart goes there.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Well, and that's an important one. We have to make sure, and that's why we're doing this program on this, is because we are wanting people to remember that everything that they do, whether it's just making a bad choice or it's how you live your life every day, are you emulating that Christ-like accountability? Because in a lot of ways, it's so much worse when we don't take action, when we just look the other way and we're reaping the consequences of that, is that good people are not taking the stand of saying, no, I am a follower of Christ. I do want to see God glorified, and I want everyone to see that my actions are pure. And having said that, I was even thinking about this last night after we had filmed some other shows and being a little bit convicted about that again. It's like, okay, Lord, how am I showing the world and the people that are in my life, with my actions, not just my words, because I can talk all day. And even on this program, you guys don't know me. You audience, you don't really know me. The girls in the audience here and the live audience do, because they've gotten to know me. So my words don't carry as much weight maybe for those of you that are listening, but these girls here might understand what I'm saying a little bit more because they know me. And I just pray that my actions are equal to what my mouth is saying. I don't want to just do lip service, because I think so many people get caught up in the lip service of saying, well, I do this, well, I do that. Well, great.
Good for you.
That's wonderful. I'm so happy for you that you're doing those things. But where are you in life? Are you actually reaching the people that are in the coffee shop? Are you nice to the waitress that forgot your coffee when you
snap.
needed
Snap.
it? Are you being nice to the mama that's got the screaming toddler? Are you giving her evil looks? Or are you going to go up to her and say, Mama, I have been there. I have done that. I am so sorry. You guys are both having a bad day.
Yeah.
And encourage her. I mean, I've had that happen to me, multiple times, getting those evil stares from other people like, shut your kid up. I'm like, okay, thank you, Ned. That's wonderful. I would love to shut my kid up, but guess what? They're having a day. So I'm sure you've had your day too, because you're calling in to somewhere and reaming them out for whatever.
Right.
Your actions have consequences. Make sure that it's a blessing and not just reaming somebody out. Your actions mean something to those around you.
Right. Well, the example is, obviously Jesus, he talks in Matthew about, loving your neighbor as you do yourself.
Yeah.
And fostering, kindness and compassion, generosity, and, even when it's difficult or inconvenient, because how many times is it convenient? It's just one of the things of living out your faith is by
Absolutely.
walking that.
I would like to just add a small thought, and that is that in being accountable, I think this is where the body of Christ needs each other.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And I mean in a very strong, positive way. So, like when you do have a prayer request, it does not become the gossip circle.
It's an actual prayer
It
request.
becomes an answered prayer. It's a matter of moments or days, but it's an answered prayer because those people were in the right spirit, and those are the people that you need to be accountable to and with. And when I say accountable to, I'm not saying you have to confess a bunch of stuff.
Right.
That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about mentoring is a good word. Like the younger women saying, hey, I have this idea, or I'm thinking I might do this. You go to somebody that you can trust and say, what's on your heart, and then get good counsel, good solid counsel.
That's key. Yeah.
Yes, Kate, for a young woman, is a very good counsel. That, to me, I think is very important as part of being accountable for your
Yeah.
actions.
Right.
Because sometimes you don't make those actions when you take a moment to think them through, pray for wisdom,
Yeah.
something I do
Yeah.
constantly. It's
Sure.
probably my number one prayer always,
Mm-hmm.
is give me wisdom. Help me not to put my foot in my mouth
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Help me not to do the dumb thing today. Because you just go through life not thinking, and your mouth just slips out something that comes out awkward, even if you don't mean it. It can come, you know me, it comes out backwards. And it's like, nope, I didn't mean it the way it's.
I got to insert this super quick. There are so many things in the Bible that Christians will say is a biblical promise, and it's really not. Not after you look at like the context of how it was spoken and what it was. It was in reference to this over here, not everybody or whatever. There is one that is absolutely and irrefutably and permanently a biblical promise, and it is the ask the Lord for wisdom promise that he, in the book of James, it says, he upbraideth not. It means he does not hold back wisdom when it is asked for.
Wow.
Which is also supported and proven by the story of Solomon, who asked for wisdom when he could have asked for everything in the world, riches and Xbox, whatever. But he chose to ask for wisdom. And God gave him all the wisdom that he asked for and riches and everything like that on top of that. While you're talking, I'm sitting here and what's looping in my mind is I'm getting excited because what you're talking about is literally one of the few biblical promises that we can just hold on to as something that we get when we ask for it.
There it is. You can start right now asking for wisdom, right now. And it's probably one of my number one prayers every day because I realize without it,
Oh, wow.
man, it's the mistakes you make
Oh, for sure.
because I can't do it by myself. God has to help me on everything.
We do need to take a really quick break. We'll be right back.
Summer is here. The kiddos are out of school, the days are getting longer, and the time for rest and rejuvenation is upon us. We're here to boost your summer plans with our Simply His Summer Collection package. Being a mother is a job that never ends no matter how old your children are. And as moms, we also need to be there for each other as we trek through the weeds of parenthood. Motherhood does not have to cost us our energy, our bodies, or our health. With the incredible Simply His Summer Collection package, you'll get the informative book Mom Hacks by author Daria Long Gillespie, a physician and mother who shares solutions for moms everywhere that doesn't have to be adding to your to-do list, but can totally make doing life and motherhood easier. Also included in this package is our sleek Simply His tumbler. Constructed of stainless steel in a beautiful turquoise, a handy reusable straw, and adorned with our Simply His logo, you can keep your drinks ice cold while you spend some time in the sun hour after hour. And speaking of ice cold drinks, who doesn't love a nice glass of iced tea on those hot summer days? Well, we have a special surprise for you. Pick your favorite flavor from our selection of organic, non-GMO loose leaf teas that can be enjoyed both iced or hot. Our teas are perfect for single-serve drinks, but also work wonderfully for summer gatherings with your family. Will you choose the Southern Peach or maybe Mango Tango? Get the Simply His Summer Collection package today. Retail value of over $50 is yours for just $35 plus shipping and handling. Scan the QR code on the screen or give us a call at 844-750-4985. Again, that's 844-750-4985. Now let's get back to Simply His.
Welcome back. We are continuing our discussion on actions and accountability. and how both are so important for us to realize and be accountable in our actions. And I know that when people are struggling with something, sometimes, they'll ask for an accountability partner. They'll
Right.
come to someone that they trust,
Sure.
and that is really helpful. And that can be for drugs, alcohol,
Relationship.
relationships, health even,
Right, right.
like, hey, let's do a diet together. So, we will ask somebody, hey, would you go on a diet with me, so that we can be accountable to each other, because it's been proven, that when you have other people that are like-minded,
Yeah.
that accountability can help you
Sure.
reach your goals.
Goal, right.
It's just as important in our Christian walk to surround
sure.
ourselves with good mentors. And we say this on the program constantly.
Yeah.
Get you a good mentor, because mentors are that accountability partner that can help us
Yeah.
build our faith, so that maybe then our actions do speak louder than our words. And that is such a big,
Help you through
big
the
thing.
struggle,
Absolutely. For some people, I think, though, that it's hard for them to ask for that help.
Oh, right.
I know,
for sure.
especially women, when they're struggling, they have a hard time reaching out and saying, hey, you know what, I'm really struggling with this. Can anybody please
Right,
help me
right.
with this problem that I'm having?
There's a lot of fear that comes with that.
Oh,
you
absolutely,
know.
because you are becoming vulnerable.
Right.
And you're airing your dirty laundry,
Right.
so to speak,
Don't want to be
occasionally.
judged,
Absolutely.
What do you mean you say you're a Christian, but now you're going through this? What do you mean? You know what I mean? That kind of
Absolutely.
thing. So it's kind of
I think that's
something that you hold back.
I think one of the things you're resonating is because we feel as Christians we have to be this
With a
big,
standard that we
Yeah.
have to, right,
and we are impervious, and we cannot suffer. We cannot have these.
right. We're just polar
I'm
opposite.
just saying, no, it's the totally opposite.
Yeah.
Because we are very normal and very human.
Yeah, for sure.
But then whenever I need help, where do I go?
Right.
I can't go to nobody because they all think I'm the biggest deal. No.
Right.
I'm sorry, I don't mean that arrogantly.
No, I know what you mean.
I just, there are ladies in our in-house audience right now that I look up to and I love to hear.
Oh, big time.
And I love what they do
Yeah.
because they're so enthusiastic and so cute and so
Yeah.
bubbly and bouncy and one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am the least of these, just saying. But I think that causes us to not want to approach others because we're afraid first that we'll let someone down.
Oh, wow, that's
Two,
a
maybe
big
we'll
one.
be embarrassed that we aren't what they thought we were,
Right. Right.
And here's the thing. I heard a little statement said that I want to be what my dog thinks I am.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
Right now, my dog, I don't have a dog now, but when I did, he treated me like I was the greatest thing since apple pie. And just I wanted to be a better person.
Yeah.
But I think trying to just live in your skin and
That's tough.
know that what you do, it can have good consequences and not so good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think we need each other.
I love that you say that, because there's so many women in ministry too, like the pastors' wives.
Oh, yeah.
We see you. We know what it's like
Yeah.
to be on that side of ministry and to say, well, who am I supposed to talk to?
Exactly.
Because as a Christian and as a woman that's in charge of things, you're not allowed to have any problems. You're not allowed to have any issues. You're
wow.
not allowed to have your kids have a bad day. You yourself are not allowed to have a bad
Right.
day. And that is so backwards.
No,
that is so
completely.
not the thing.
Right.
You need to have that outlet too. So find somebody that can mentor you, even as a pastor's wife, to have a safe space to go and say, hey, I'm struggling today. This is what's going on. You have to put your pride aside occasionally. I know I have, and I've gotten to the point now where I'm better about asking for help
Yeah.
when I need it. And part of that is because I have an amazing family. I have amazing friends. The ladies in the audience, they know sometimes I'm coming in, I'm just cranky as ever, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just having a really bad day. And it's okay, because they understand, okay, that's
They're
not
gonna love
usually
you
Catherine.
anyway.
Exactly.
Give her some space. She'll be fine.
That's
That's
a
a-
strong place to be.
That's wonderful. And not everybody has that. And that makes me sad for them. But
I think that comes with maturity too.
yeah, but if I'm like having a hard time, or I need some help with something, hey, would you mind helping me with this, because this is what's going on?
Right.
Lynn, I don't know how many times that woman has come and helped me clean my house, because I get so far behind
Yeah.
because I live so busy and so crazy that, we clean the house every weekend, but sometimes I just need Lynn to come and help me clean the house. But I'm able now to ask for that help and
Right.
understand, okay, you know what? I can't do it all on my own. And
Right.
that's where the accountability comes in. And that's just a silly
love
thing
that.
because who needs accountability to clean their house? But it's not about that. It's about understanding that, okay, I need the
that
help.
help, yeah.
And I have somebody that I can do that with. And I'm comfortable with going to them and saying, hey, yes, my house is a mess again.
And if
Please
Lynn
come
were
save
here,
me.
she would tell you that it is a blessing for her to help you.
That's what she would say. Yeah.
The body of Christ helping one another. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's part of our accountability that we're trying to hone in on right
Oh,
now.
absolutely. And I think that's one of the missing elements sometimes in churches and in the body of Christ right now is that accountability and that camaraderie
Yeah.
in some ways of being able to ask for help and having that love,
Yeah.
because we've talked about that before too, is that we feel so judged sometimes. And it doesn't always come from the outside world. It comes from our Christian people. And
Right.
we have to change that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Being accountable, Jesus called us to love.
Can I leave one last thought for a pastor's wife out there? that may-
Absolutely.
So my whole thing when I first became like a pastor's wife many years ago in my former life feels like I was told that I could not have a friend in the church because then the ladies would be jealous
Are
that
you
you're the best
kidding?
friend of the pastor's wife. So I isolated myself, and that's made it a whole lot harder.
That's spiritual abuse.
Whatever it is, there it
religious
is.
abuse,
I
yeah.
want you to understand if you're hearing my voice right now and you're pastoring, Catherine said it a minute ago, we hear you, we see you, we feel you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a true thing, man.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know, find yourself a best friend. Go have coffee with
Yeah,
your best friend.
And perfect doesn't relate.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
So the more pressure you feel to have your act together and
Yeah.
all your ducks in a row and never sin and all this stuff, that you're just making yourself more and more distant from the world that
Yep.
needs you.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
You are
so
human.
do that. If nothing else, if no one else has gained anything today, please, if you're a pastor's wife, go find yourself a best friend. You need it.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus is our best friend. We all know that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking. We also need each other.
absolutely.
If you think that
Forsake
you're
not the
supposed to be
assembly.
an
Exactly.
island to your own, there is not going to happen.
Yeah.
Very lonely place, and God did not want you to be lonely
No.
at all. Took me years to figure that one out. I'm going to help you get there quicker.
If you listen, if you take action. So take action and find yourself somebody that you can be accountable to and maybe be that accountability person for somebody else. It's so important. So make sure that your actions are emulating the love of Jesus. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you next week in the Simply His Coffee Shop.